Hello, Toronto, and welcome back to the University of Toronto Esports Twitch channel. We're coming at you guys live with some exciting games from the Overwatch Fall Intramurals season. We've got an exciting matchup between the Bearfoo fan club and the Medicinal Fried Chicken. I am your play-by-play caster for the Knights Baffles, and I'm joined by Computer OW. And big shout out to BMO, our sponsor.
BMO, you say?
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. To help you focus on what's important, BMO has checking and savings accounts, credit cards, and borrowing options specifically designed for students. Plus, get up to 12 months of Domino's Pizza worth $190 with BMO's current student offers. Visit bmo.com/students for details.
Yeah. So if you like pizza or if you like having money, sounds like a good deal.
It sounds like a fantastic deal, if you ask me. So jumping right into it, we've got the Bearfoo fan club. That's going to be our first team for tonight. What do you need?
We've got Bearfoo himself starting off on the DPS line. Bearfoo, otherwise known as Phantoms, is a DPS tank player for UTES varsity squad, as well as Laufey Lover, who is also known as Hypothesis. So we have two U of T varsity Overwatch players on this team. And rounding out on DPS, we have Fun Police on support Sparkplug, and finally Blind Spot on tank.
Oh, pretty interesting team. A couple of players that we're already well accustomed to. What about MFC? What are they packing to match that heat?
Yeah, so they've got a couple of names as well. They've got from U of T they have Mook, who was on one of the academy teams last semester. And they also have Kelly from, I believe, Alberta. As well, two Overwatch collegiate players, and then three players who are sort of still looking to make a bit more of a name, maybe. Pudge on DPS, and then Jang and Sir Sanic on support, who is a substitute because I believe it's I Like Chicken. The namesake of the team is in fact absent, but very much with us in spirit.
And I can't believe John Chicken himself is not present with us today.
If you have some fried chicken on you, take a nice bite in his honor. I'm sure his team in his absence will be giving us some excellent Overwatch gameplay.
So, all right. So for those of you that are unfamiliar with the format this time around, it's going to be a best of 5 series between these two teams. Both of these teams have won their first round of intramurals, so we're looking at a pretty balanced matchup. And before each map, both teams get to choose 2 characters to ban.
Yeah, that's true. And the ban system is interesting because you can ban 2 heroes, but only 1 from each role. Each team, that is. So a maximum of 2 heroes in each role can be banned if each team, for instance, chooses to ban a tank. But one team, if you're team 1, if you're, say, team Bearfoo, you can't ban 2 tanks, you can only ban 1. Okay. So you have to be strategic. And one other interesting facet of the system, actually, is that once a hero is banned in a series, they can no longer be banned for the rest of the match. So in this case, Team Bearfoo has gone off with an opening ban of Junker Queen and Junkrat, sort of a lore duo, and MFC, they're banning Reaper Lucio. And our first map is going to be Lijiang Tower, so it looks like both teams are trying to sort of counter out certain of these like brawl options, certain of these up close and personal. So yeah, we're gonna have an interesting matchup without Junker Queen, without Junkrat, without Reaper, without Lucio on Lijiang, all of which are quite popular characters.
Yeah, I mean, at first I was going to make the joke that Bearfoo are kind of clean freaks, right? They wanted to get rid of all the junk off the field. But now that we see that Lijiang was where both of these teams are kind of hovering, especially since MFC was the one that picked it, it makes a lot more sense. Junk and Junker Queen, they do command a lot of space on these maps, as well as just are formidable opponents to face. And then MFC banning Reaper and Lucio, I mean, it's pretty classic. I do know that Juno has kind of stepped into the meta a little bit and kind of increased Lucio's J's, but aside from that, Lucio is still a very, very formidable support, and then Reaper, I don't think the shotgun guy needs an introduction.
Yeah, I think we can expect to see some Juno comps, maybe some dive with Reaper out of the mix, but other than that, we'll really have to leave it up to the teams to show us what they want to play. I know that Bearfoo is a big fan of the Genji. That's not banned, so we can expect to see some of that. From Hypothesis, that is Laufey Lover. Not on the Lucio, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see him on Juno. Maybe on Brig. Maybe on a flex support. Yeah, hard to say what to expect.
All right, the opening picks are being hovered. We're gonna see. Oh, there it is. There's Juno Bap, the classic duo, as well as Ramatra, Cassidy, and Tracer being hovered for the blue side, and facing them, the MFC Warriors. They're going to be running a little bit of something different. Kewi is hovering Doomfist, and I think that's a really nice pick here on this map.
Yeah, without the Reaper or the Junker Queen, you can get away with a lot more dive. It's quite strong on Gardens, so both teams rolling out to the midpoint.
Yep, Kewi going to meet them first, knocking them back just a little bit, but it's not going to find any picks. And now a second empowered punch goes a little bit far into the team, able to regroup, no problems found.
Oh,
Kewi,
no.
Talk about problems, sends themselves right off the map, and now they are sent packing. Bearfoo running in deep, not going to be able to get a pick, but the zoning is all they really need.
And that's so tragic. I mean, you can see Kewi, going for those punches off the bridge. Unfortunately, hoisted a bit by his own petard there, but he's looking to make a fast re-entry into this fight.
Yeah, now Kewi is able to punch them backwards, but he is hindered as well as knocked down, and not going to be able to mirror their mark. Bearfoo gets the opening pick onto Pudge, blind spot right after. Grumpy Mook is the one that's going to be able to trade back. Kewi gets a kill onto Pun Police as well, and Bearfoo gets picked off right on the back alley of the fight. Junos get traded out. Mook is the one who takes down Laufey, and now blind spot is holding on for just a little bit longer to get that percentage up.
Yeah, it is important to note though that oh, they're still touching. They still have the point.
Yeah, Bearfoo is holding out for dear life. 38% is really nice. Oh,
that's not so nice though. The pit claims another. Yeah, that would have been a really nice play. Just getting that extra few percent, because Team MFC never managed to cap until the very, very end of the fight. So yeah, Team Bearfoo, they have a solid 40%. That's really quite nice for winning only one fight.
Yep, exactly. So both of these teams are staging here again. The Juno is going to speed everybody in, but Laufey Lover's the first one to fall. Kewi gets the kill. Bearfoo trades out for Zalin, though, but Kewi gets a second. Grumpy Mook makes that 3 with the Pulse Bomb. Now, on the run, Kewi gets the kill onto Spark Plug, and things are all but said and done. Blind Spot going to hold out on the point. Going to stagger themselves a little bit. They don't even have the point to make progress on, but they are walking back in with the Annihilation. Doomfist forced to retreat. And is this the turn that Blind Spot was looking for?
Doesn't manage to find any kills with that ultimate. Finds some space, but does get eliminated. It looks like MFC are winning this fight.
Yeah, Pudge going to take that aerial 1-on-1 with Laufey Lover. Not going to get a kill out of it, but are going to force them to retreat. 60% now on the board for MFC. They are very happy with this position.
Yeah, that really hurts for Team Bearfoo. They were trying to commit there, with the reinforcements, but they spend the ult. They spend all that time. It's 70% now, and they didn't get the fight win. And now they have no ults left, just the High Noon and the Juno ult coming up.
Yep, now Zalin's looking pretty hungry looking, wants those kills. The Capri Sun comes through, as well as the Orbital Ray. Welcome to Orbit. Kewi finds 2. Zalin gets another Immortality Field. Down, Blind Spot as well, and it's just Bearfoo to try and make something.
And the stagger from Bearfoo really hurts them. Ideally, you want your Tracer to touch here, so we're going to have to see if they can even touch it. Looks like Team MFC are postured to fight up close.
Laufey Lover tries to make the jump over the pit.
Tries to make it, doesn't make it, and it looks like Bearfoo does get the touch.
Yep, Zalin and Kewi, though, they do get their kills. They are making sure that this stays shut. Bearfoo does fall. Pudge gets the kill onto Blind Spot, and Kewi shuts them out. And that's going to be a 1-0 lead for MFC.
Yeah, those staggers just really, really hurting the tempo. For a control map like this, you really can't afford to be losing those long, drawn-out fights while the enemy team has control of the objective. I mean, you saw at the end there, especially that last stagger on the Tracer that really hurt them so badly. They had to send their Juno to try and get a touch. When really you want to try and fight with that Juno ultimate, if they could have just ended that fight, the second last fight, 5 seconds sooner, or even like 2, it could have been a very different story. But first round of control out of the way. It looks like Bearfoo on control center here. It's going to be more close in. He's swapping over to the Genji. Meanwhile, Pudge going over to the Mei. So we have a Mei, Doomfist, Illari. Sort of an interesting composition from Team MSC. We'll have to see how it works out.
Yep, Fun Police on the Soldier Genji. It's a big comp swap, not one that we were expecting.
Yeah, they're going to be able to put a lot of damage, though, a lot of pressure, especially onto the Illari. It looks like, though, they're ceding a lot of space to this Doomfist.
Yeah, Bearfoo gets the deflect forced out pretty quickly. Fun Police is just stuck trying to get those shots in. Meg drops down low. Icicle gets forced out. Juno on the back ropes, getting healed up by the Illari turrets. They're not going to be able to convert any kills. Mark that down. Blind Spot gets the first kill. Kiwi trades it back. Are they going to be able to hold on for any longer? Kiwi gets knocked down to 1 HP. He's able to get a little bit more over health. Sir Santa gets the kill into Luffy Lover.
Wait, they might win this.
And things are stabilized. Grumpy Hook with a kill. Sparkplug trades it again. It's just 1-for-1s all around.
It's such a scrappy fight. Starts off with the Brig just getting picked out, not quite able to find the cleanup. Our team Bearfoo, just a little bit messy target focus means Kelly's able to survive, able to get that conversion onto Lofty Lover, and then just like really nice from MFC, exploiting that mobility, keeping their backline alive. They managed to clean it up in there.
I'm curious to see where this Capri Sun lands, if Zelen is going to pull the trigger.
Gets pressured out a little. Bearfoo, they're walking up. Oh,
Grumpy Mook with the pop-up kill into Bearfoo. That's pretty much this fight said and done. The Immortality is going to get pushed out just to try and claim a little bit more space. The Empowered Charge does get
synergy there.
Yep, gets blocked by their own Mei wall, but they're going to be able to get in deep. Fun Police knocked down to low HP. Kiwi with the Empowered Punch. Capri Sun in deep. Kiwi gets the kill onto Fun Police. Dragon Blade gets pulled out. Bearfoo gets 1. Can he make it 2? No, Zalon is the one to shut it down.
Wait, but they do manage to find Kiwi. This is actually winnable. It's a 3 versus 3. There's no tank alive for MFC, but they have to be quick about it before he gets back. There's the
time
Blizzard.
ticking down. Blizzard comes through. Everybody is slowed or zoned out of the fight, but there is a big window in the back. Fun Police gets 1. Sparkplug gets another, and that's the point flip in a fight 1.
And are MFC going to look to fight this again? They've been fighting a lot of down fights, just trying to turn them. It looks like this time they're backing up. They do have the Ray advantage, though. They have Orbital Ray in hand. Lofty Lover only now swapping over onto the Juno.
You can definitely feel the difference when you have the Juno, when you have the speed, but there's a High Noon coming through. Not going to be able to rip the trigger before he falls. Fun Police gets 2. Make that 3 with Blind Spot, but Kiwi is able to trade it back. They're in it for the long haul. So Kiwi is forced to retreat. Fun Police get the kill onto Zalon. A bit of a late stagger, too.
Yeah, that's really nice. They just deny them the space, run them down with the Juno speed, and really punish Grumpy Mook trying to make some space with a High Noon. There is still
Kiwi,
the Orbital Ray online, though.
Staging it aggressively, I was going to say, but he uses the Empowered Punch to dive deep into the team. Not going to be able to make it back with his life. Sparkplug is the one to claim that kill, and now Pudge is walking forward. Can he get the Mei wall on anybody? No. Blind Spots gets 2 and shuts them out.
Last round it was Bearfoo getting staggered out. This time it's MFC. This might be their last fight if it goes long. Kewi's swapping over to the Ramatra. It looks like they only have that Juno ult still, but now Bearfoo has had time to build up to a Dragon Blade.
Yeah, I mean, Computer, this poke is brutal, and you even see Kiwi bending the knee and swapping over to Ramatra. Orbital...
nice wall.
Orbital Ray comes through. Kiwi gets the kill onto Sparkplug with these hands. Grumpy Muck gets a second. Kiwi make that 3. Can he get 4? He's pushing deeper and deeper into the spawn. Get that 4. Can he get a 5th? Yes, sir. Pudge is the one to pick that one up.
Yeah, Kiwi.
And that leads us into the final kill, or final fight.
Kiwi just going so aggressive onto this backline of Team Bearfoo, time and time again. Gets punished for it sometimes, but more often than not, finds value with it. Now, though, it's going to be down to Bearfoo with that Dragon Blade. See what he can get done with this. There's the window.
Window used up front. Capri Sun going to return the favor, but it's not going to be able to stick anybody. That's an ult, null, and void. Now it's a full-on retreat. Dragon Blade coming through from the side. Can Bearfoo make these work? He gets 1. He gets 2. That was an Alari turret, and Kiwi's the one to shut it down.
Ooh,
Fun
nice
Place, though, is
rocket.
going to be able to make it work. Blind Spot gets another as well. Kiwi finds one, Pudge makes that two, and the Blizzard on the point was able to get a lot of work done. Blind Spot with the Annihilation that ripped it very late into the fight, and now Pudge in the 1v3 scenario. Grumpy Hook is making it back, though, trying to contest the point just a little bit longer. The flip does go through for Bearfoo.
There's still a few seconds left here. Kiwi is back on the Doomfist, but it's going to be tough. He does find the touch.
Yeah, manages to make it in, gets the touch, but now Juno is being run down by the Ramatra. Fun Police is finding himself in a tough spot. Zalen, though, is the one to fall as TP Suzu's at the wrong time. Lofty is the one to find out the kill onto Kiwi, and now it's all tied up 1-1.
Oh, that's a really nice setup in that last fight from Team Bearfoo. You know, open with the window, they managed to block, I believe, the Captive Sun. And then just a really, really nice flank from Bearfoo with the blade just really forces them back. They get all that space to leverage their orbital ray. And the, you know, it gets a bit messy. Their Dragon Blade gets killed after only taking one down. They get frozen up a bit by the Blizzard. But in the end, they managed to get a decent enough setup with their ults and a big enough ult advantage that they just managed to convert it out.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly saw a lot of those swaps that were made. They really paid off for the Bearfoo lovers. And how do you think that's going to impact this round?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Team MFC, they're just sticking on the Doomfist, sticking on their comfort, Doom Alari. The Pharah, though, is going to be very, very scary.
Yep, Kiwi just edge guarding the enemy team. He's going to see if he can get any environmental assists. Make that. Oh, no, it was not one.
Oh, just the Genji.
Yep, Lucky Lover, though, is the fun to get the opening pick. Sir Sanic falls, and Kiwi's the one to get another one onto Spark Plug. Bearfoo, though, trades it back, and Zalen again with the one-on-one. Bearfoo gets another, and no supports remaining for Bearfoo. They're going to slowly bleed out of the rest of this fight, as Doomfist is the one to make this a done deal. Oh.
Well, you say that. I mean, Bearfoo does manage to trade one out. Most of their team is back. Oh, Lofty Lover picked early again. 2 fights in a row. That's gotta hurt.
You know, I may have called the conclusion a little bit early, but it worked out at the end.
Yeah, silver lining, they do manage to stall out a bit. So MFC don't get too much cap time. It looks like Kiwi's gonna have the first ult online though with that meteor strike. Gonna probably look to go aggressive on this Bap Juno backline.
Yep, Blind Spot is going to be able to trap Kiwi in deep in the own team, and Blind Spot does secure the kill. Grumpy Mook's recall is forced out very early. Zelen gets a kill, but Lofty Lover trades it onto Sir Sanic with their dying breath. Zelen gets forced out around the corner on the Alari, gets killed by the Graphitic something.
I believe it's a Ravenous Vortex. That's the name.
Ravenous Vortex.
Yeah, not Gravity apparently. It's just hungry. I mean, I get slow when I'm hungry.
Pudge knocks Spark Plug off the map. And Kiwi gets a kill onto Fun Police. Bearfoo, though, is holding on for dear life. Gets the kill onto Grumpy Mook. Knocks Bearfoo off the map if he didn't kill him already with the initial punch. Now, Lofty Lover is on the tight ropes on the outside of the map. Zelen is the one to secure the kill. And Kiwi gets the final blow onto Blind Spot.
Yeah. I mean, I like the the double hit scan in the BAP into this Pharah Doom. You know, it gives a lot of punish onto the Pharah, a lot of punish onto the Doom. But Bearfoo, they just keep getting caught on the outside of the map. They keep getting knocked off the map. I believe that's 4 players this map so far that have gone off of the map, that have fallen into the hole.
Yeah, and all the ultimates are ramping up. Who's going to pop him first, and who's going to take advantage of this fight? Welcome to Orbit, my friends, as MFC are the ones to lead the charge. Blind Spot gets taken down at very low HP. Zelen takes out the Immortality, and Kiwi takes down Bearfoo. No high noon. Kiwi gets the kill onto Spark Plug, and Grumpy Mook with the double kill. Risingly in the backline, thanks you to the false bomb.
Yeah, I mean, that was nice from Sir Sanic, just reading, you know, that Lofty Lover uses the speed. They're not able to escape anymore from the orbital right. They try their best to kite it, Bearfoo, but just doesn't quite work out in the end. And now they're in desperate straits, trying to just find a touch here.
Yeah, back window used a little bit far off the point. Pudge is able to nuke blind spot off the map, and now Lofty Lover is stuck inside the fight. Capri Sun comes through, gets Lofty Lover, gets Fun Police, gets Bearfoo, gets Spark Plug. That's a 4K for support.
And that'll be first map going the way of MFC. Just that Doom Alari from Kewi and Zalan just putting in so much work. And really the slow ram style just really not able to punish that, that really greedy Juno Alari backline. And ultimately not able to resist like the amount of pressure that Kewi is putting out. Not able to punish him consistently. You know, we see a couple times he's going really aggressive to make space for his team and pressure the enemy backline. A couple times he does go down and he gets bursted, but he comes back so fast on the Doomfist, and most times he goes in, he's living and he's getting a lot of value, and you see his backline is under very little pressure the whole time.
Now, there was obviously a lot happening there, and we saw many like really intense and fight-swinging plays from both Bearfoo and MFC, especially on the third point when they went to the market. We really saw a lot of that back and forth gameplay. What do you think was really the deciding factor? Like, who do you think went above and beyond on their role to really secure the win, or to make a huge difference here?
I don't know that it was an individual player so much as I think it was more MFC had sort of just like better tempo the whole time, right? You see Bearfoo, a lot of the time they're taking these like really long, extended, scrappy fights while MFC have control of the point. That's really giving them the trouble, and they're having trouble sort of getting themselves in position to get their ults online. They're having trouble setting up in the Juno ult fight. In the Orbital Ray fight at the end of Night Market, they're the ones who have to go second. They're not able to get a good setup, they're not able to get a good kite. And so, the Orbital Ray fight, the most important fight in the Juno Mirror, they wind up just not able to get the good setup because I think Team MFC just looked more comfortable with their tempo and more comfortable with sort of setting the pace.
Yeah. I mean, Orbital Ray, now that you mention it, it's just a very interesting ultimate when it comes to the implications in, organized play. It's not like a lot of the other ultimates in Overwatch where if you pop it, then I pop it, and we're both nullifying each other out. Orbital Ray also has a lot of elements of angles and what your pathing is going to be and setting yourself up for that good ult. And you can't just press that Q button if you're Juno and reactively use it. You really have to have that setup, and you have to have that intuition to know when you're going to be using it.
I mean, sometimes you can get away with it, but usually in an Orbital Ray fight where it's mirrored, one team is going to have the better setup. Or if you can survive it, and I think that's what they were trying to do in that last fight. If you can survive it and then hit back with your own Orbital Ray, it's very strong. Or if you can, we didn't see a lot of it. We saw there was a Dragon Blade combo from Team Bearfoo at the end of Control Center, but I think that was the only real like major ult combo we saw with Orbital Ray. Usually, a lot of the time, you'll see ultimate abilities like the Dragon Blade, like the Deadeye, like a Terra Surge from an Orisa, stuff like that, comboed in with the Orbital Ray because it gives so much damage that layering on another ultimate can be very, very hard to escape, very hard to survive. It looks like most of the time though we're seeing just Orbital Ray fights unmirrored or just mirrored with not a whole lot of extra layering going on. And most of the time in those fights we're seeing I think Team MFC just getting a bit more value out of their Rays as a team.
Very, very well spoken. And while we were yapping, it does look like both of these teams have locked in their bans. So Lofty Lover is going to go ahead and declare the bans for Bearfoo FC. It's going to be Alari and May. This seems a little targeted if you ask me. Meanwhile, MFC are taking out Ryan and Ash. Does that have any hints towards which map he could be going to?
We do know we're going Kings Row. So I think the Alari is just targeted I think towards MFC. They were playing that Alari basically all of Legion, getting tons of value out of it. The May I think points to Bearfoo they were playing a lot of the Ram, so I think they want to keep going with it. We saw the May from MFC, and I think May can cause a lot of problems for those sort of brawl compositions. As for the Ryan and the Ashe, I'm not sure. I mean, they're both just sort of strong picks on King's Row. Maybe MFC don't feel like they're intending to play them, so they just want to, you know, sweep them off the field, bring it to maybe a Ram mirror, maybe play the Orisa to counter the Ram, or maybe they're gonna stick with the Doomfist. It'll be interesting to see though what they play now that the Alaria is off the table.
I'm really interested in seeing it. Could be a reversion to some of the more classic compositions where you're looking at that Baptiste, you're looking at Lucio, you're looking at Juno. It just really depends on what these teams are more comfortable with, right? And as you know, Mr. Expert yourself, it's Scrims Row. Do you have any insights into maybe something cool that's happening this season that maybe is spicing up the meta, or do you think we're going to be expecting more of the same kind of brawl slash rush?
I think usually it's Juno Brig on this map. I think some of these teams we're seeing them play Juno Bap. Mostly I think that's comfort. I do think though, watch out for pocket sniper picks. So Widowmaker can be very strong. Obviously on, you know, first point spawn as an attacker, you can just go for a quick pot shot out of spawn. But I think especially on third point, Widow and Zen. And sometimes you'll see defenders just sort of swap to a pocket Zen pick, and it can get huge value. You know, we've seen the Toronto Defiant do that in OWCS to great success. Yeah, I think that's what to watch out for. Looks like we do have a Widow that's probably just for a spawn shot. Expecting the Tracer from Mook. And it looks like it's going to be the Ram versus the Dive.
You know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Except they are also dropping out with a Lucio.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe Locklever feels more comfortable on the Lucio than the Juno. Maybe feels like they can have more impact.
And so Kiwi leading on strong, taking the high ground. Bearfoo down to just 1 HP. They are going to be able to pick him. Sirsanik with the final blow, and now it is a full-blown retreat. Fun Police gets stuck in the middle of the fight, but no is able to retreat, no problem. Kiwi instead was forced out. So now they are able to take 1 tick of the point. Can they get a second? They are probably going to get away with it. Are the opposing team, is Bearfoo going to be able to really walk back in here? Ramatra gets knocked away from the point, but is able to make it in at the end. Immortality makes space known, but it's going to be a kill for Grumpy Muck to open up the fight, as well as a interesting fight in the back line. Kiwi gets the kill on the blind spot. Grumpy Muck's recall is forced out, but Bearfoo falls first, and that's an easy first point.
Yeah, that's really nice from Kiwi. Just spots the Genji hiding up on that top angle. Just punches him, isolates him. And yeah, once you lose an early pick like that, you know, Bearfoo, they made a good attempt to recover, but after that they can't hold the close arch anymore. And MFC are heading into streets with a time bank of 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it really just felt like Bearfoo wasn't ready for that speed and the intensity that Kiwi came out of the spawn with, right?
Yeah. And without the Juno or the Brig as well, it's, you know, no pack, no instant healing.
Yep.
So, you know, he takes the damage, he can't get healed in time.
Yep. Now, Kiwi does land a big punch into the Baptiste window, forces them all off of it. Pudge gets the first kill. Lofty Lover trades it back. Pudge gets 1. Blind Spot kills Zalin. And now there is a serious lack of healing. They are able to stop the Pulse Bomb from taking down Kiwi, but now Bearfoo is hot on his heels. Bearfoo does fall, though, to Grumpy Muck, and now Doomfist is back with a Vengeance. Pudge gets the final blow into Lofty.
It is silver lining. You do get to have your fast characters stall out at the end there for Bearfoo, so they'll be able to get a recontest. They'll get another fight on the streets phase. There is still the orbital ray online though for Sirsanik, and they don't yet have a beat or an annihilation to match it, so this is going to be a tough fight.
Yep, this is Kiwi's Kingdom, and we're just sort of more or less living in it. And then Pudge with the huge barrage takes down Fun Police. The orbital ray as well, just supporting them with a lot of damage and healing. Pudge gets 2, Pudge gets 3, and Grumpy Muck's there to support.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's like what I was saying on Lee Chang. I think Bearfoo, they're just getting out-tempoed. You know, Kiwi able to put up so much pressure, and then Pudge just is able to find these flanks, find these angles for barrages, relatively uncontested, because Fun Police and Sparkplug are spending all their time looking at the Doomfist, not at the Pharah.
Yeah, really struggling to find their footing is very accurate. They just haven't been able to get back to it. But Fun Police is going to walk forward with the high noon. Immortality puts a stop to those plans.
Ooh,
but
nice.
Kiwi is going to fall right after. Blind Spot gets a kill of their own. Bearfoo falling low, gets traded out. But Lofty Lover is the one to secure the kill on Grumpy Mook, and Pudge resets off the map.
Yeah, that's nice from Fun Police. The little flashbang to hinder the Doomfist. Stop him from escaping, stop him from using that empowered punch that he got while blocking.
Yeah, but there is no time to rest when it comes to tempo. MFC are running out of the gate, swinging. Kiwi gets a punch in on the team, doesn't really convert to any kills, but he's going to get another empowered punch soon after. Grumpy Mook on the flank gets forced out by Bearfoo, but also the spark plug Immortality. Immortality is getting traded off from both sides. Window is going to force this payload along. Pulse Bomb gets 2! Blind Spot finds another, but Pudge is able to return the favor. Pudge, can he secure one onto this Baptiste? No, he cannot. 4 HP, running for his life. A life short. So
in spite of Mook putting up the double deuce, getting another 2-kill Pulse Bomb, it looks like Team Bearfoo, they are stabilizing. That said, though, that's a really early Immortality field forced out.
Yeah, are they going to be able to do anything with this tempo? Who am I kidding? It's MFC. Of course they can. Luffy just falls, and the Baptiste Window in a very vulnerable position. Bearfoo gets a kill on the Grumpy Mook. Pudge is able to turn it back. Zelen finishes off Fun Police, was knocked out of position by Kiwi, and now the Tracer is forced out of this fight. Blind Spot taken down by Zelen, and Bearfoo holding on for dear life. Zelen with another one. Who said you can't DPS support?
Now, Bearfoo does have the beat, but there's the Orbital Ray and Barrage online for MSU. It looks like Pudge is getting set up to use it. Oh, it has to fly the other door. There's the Barrage. Oh.
Pudge with the double kill and an Orbital Ray to secure the deal. Blind Spot walked out on the D.Va, probably for this exact reason, to try and negate some of those big ultimate abilities, but unfortunately came out of the wrong spawn door to make that happen, as a 2-minute 50-second remaining triple cap.
Yeah, there's a fifth player. There's no sixth player this series going off the map. Just to close things out. Yeah, just I don't know. Team Bearfoo, they just look like they're really not on the same page. You know, they're not able to find their footing. They're not able to get their ult rotation online. And when they do have a chance to stabilize, you see, you know, they're of two minds. At one point, you know, their Ramatra Blind Spot wants to be pushed up, and sort of pushes up alone, gets critically low, and that forces out the Immortality field, forces out, you know, a lot of valuable cooldowns. And then it's after they've ceded all that space that then, you know, they start trying to take a little bit of more space, but this time the Ramatra's hanging back and their Lucio gets picked off. They're just, yeah, they're just looking really uncoordinated, and, you know, credit where it's due. Team MFC are doing a really great job just exploiting that. You know, they're always taking the turn to go first. They're taking the space that's given to them, and they're running with it.
Yeah, well, now we're starting to see the tide shift a little bit, right? So Bearfoo, now they're on the attack. They get to set the tempo, and they're going to be leading the charge. Are they going to be able to make it happen? I mean, it's a pretty interesting team here from MFC now. Very, very different.
Yeah, I mean, the Queen Reaper, I guess they want to just be brawling up front, trying to really punish Blind Spot. But with the Reaper and the Widowmaker, they're not going to have as much consistent damage, especially not ranged threat. We're going to have to see how well Bearfoo and Blind Spot can deal with Mook on the Widow, though.
Yeah, Bearfoo jumping up to contest the statue. They do manage to discover the Widow. Now Bearfoo is set on his next target. Forced to fall back, but Zelen is there to cover. And now Bearfoo have a pretty strong positioning advantage. They do have the D.Va up on the high ground there. He's going to be jumping down onto Pudge. Pudge is forced out. But Grumpy Mook gets the headshot onto Sparkplug. That's what you pick the Widow for. That's what you like to see. You love those headshots, and he gets another one.
It was looking nice too. They managed to take that high ground. They pushed back the Widowmaker. They forced out the shout. But at the end of the day, if you leave Widow alone for long enough, he's gonna take off one of your heads. There's a swap on the Genji, so Bearfoo's gonna have, I think, a much easier time really contesting Mook with that now.
Yep, for sure. But now, swapping this late into the round, you are also at an ultimate disadvantage. I'm really willing to see where things go. Bearfoo on the flank is looking to see Zelen probably soon around the corner, but Pudge is leading charge with the rest of his team. Still no fight.
Yeah, Blind Spot just not able to get past this Queen Reaper. Just so much control over this choke point. It's really only Bearfoo who's pressuring the backline. There's the Nano ready, though.
Yep, Anti goes wide as Grumpy Muck actually drops down into the point to avoid it. And Green Light says go. Pudge is the one to secure the kill onto Lofty Lover. And without their break on it, it's not long for this world. Bearfoo deep in the backline gets taken out by Grumpy Muck. And the rest fall shortly after.
Oh, and they're staggering Blind Spot.
Oh, she gets staggered.
That is just brutal.
Oh.
It will
does
survive,
manage to live, but that is a mechless diva.
Yeah, and has to reset the ult charge. Looks like Lafayette is swapping over to the Lucio now off the brig, so sacrificing that rally charge. Maybe looking to go together with the Genji onto the Widowmaker.
Yeah, Bearfoo gets taken down by a body shot into Baptiste follow-up. And now the kettle is just continuing to boil. Things are heating up. It's 1 minute and 44 seconds remaining, and they're so far from so many ults.
Yeah, I mean, Bearfoo, they just can't find an opening. They can't get themselves... Once they do get set up for a dive, you know, they clear off the high ground. They just get their backline walked on. They're having such a hard time with this.
Yep, Nano Boost comes through. Bearfoo gets 2 kills with it. Doesn't even have the blade. Gets 3! Who needs a blade when you've got a Genji? And that is gonna blow it wide open. I mean, we were just talking about the ultimate advantage that MFC was able to hoard, right? Their Dragon's Treasure. It doesn't really matter if you don't get to use any.
Yeah, I mean, that this time they do manage to go first, Bearfoo, with the Nano Boost. And I mean, yeah, Nano Genji, really, MFC don't have a very strong answer to it. But they only have 3 minutes on the street, so they really have to get some... yeah, it's going to be tough to... They have to get this blade set up, I think, but into an orbital ray and a rampage, it's going to be really, really tough.
Yep, this could potentially be the kickstart that they need to get back into this stuff.
It could be if they can get their ult cycle online. It's all about this Dragon Blade.
Now,
there it comes.
We're jumping in deep with the blade. The orbital ray is going to match it in the Baptiste window in the back line. Death Blossom gets slept out, but Kiwi is going to rampage through the team. Finds 2, and just the anti-healing alone was just so valuable, but the damage on top of that, nobody was going to be able to survive it. And Blind Spot, unfortunately, and really can't catch a break on this diva.
So they do lose the fight, but they trade Blade for 4 ultimates, Bearfoo, so you're really not unhappy with that at all. Yeah. This Visor should be pretty free. There's a nice anti to Kiwi. There comes the Visor.
Yeah, Visor does come through, like you said, and Kiwi is the one to fall for it. That anti-nade was just very, very well timed. The rest of the team is sent packing. They're going to be able to make it back just fine and dandy.
Looks like they're going to opt to hold a little bit further back here. Not take so much of this forward space. They're letting MFC in. No ults online now for either side, except for this beat from Lofty Lover.
Yeah, Bearfoo gets pinned against the wall. It could have been me, but Kiwi is the one to find the kill onto Fun Police. And now Grumpy Muck is finding an angle. The beat was dropped. Nano Boost as well. Bearfoo takes down Zelen, is looking around for their next target. Juno's spotted. Blind Spot gets the kill onto Pudge. Bearfoo finally takes down Juno, and even though Srsanic was able to take down Lofty, it's not for much.
Yeah, I mean, the beat there, you know, just losing one early, needing to beat to stabilize is not ideal. But you do manage to find the kills with the Nano. Now they have this Blade online. They're really doing a good job of cycling those. Recognizing that there's not a lot of defensive utility on the side of MFC. They only need Blade or Nano. And they can cycle them really, really nicely, as they've been doing. Yep,
now Grumpy Muck here is their protagonist. Fun Police gets the kill into Kiwi, though. That's not a pretty big hindrance for them not having your tank. Blade comes through. Pudge taken down by Bearfoo, but Zelen's able to trade it back. Fun Police shuts down Grumpy Muck, and it's all in the hands of the supports now. Fortunately, they weren't able to hold it.
Yeah, you'd maybe be happier if you're Bearfoo, if you're able to hold on to that Dragon Blade. Because now they really have only a Diva Bomb heading into third point. And they only have about 2 minutes to finish, or else they'll not be able to get an extra attack. And there's a lot of ults built up on the side of MSC. The sort of silver lining that they haven't got the chance to use them yet is that they have double support ults and that Meteor Strike.
Yep, Kiwi leading the charge. Bearfoo gets a kill into Grumpy Muck again. Both the window and the orbital ray come through. Zelen falls off the map thanks to that boop. Pudge gets a kill with the turret, and Kiwi gets another. There's no supports remaining for Bearfoo. And they are gonna get us an exit kill, though. Oh, nice one onto Pudge.
Yeah, I mean, MFC, they have to back up here. Kiwi's maybe gonna get punished very, very, very far up. Charges the punch.
Yeah, but the
And there's
turret in the
Nano
back
online.
putting in work. Kiwi just unmovable in this position, and Bearfoo gets knocked against the wall down to low HP yet again to make that 0. Zalin is the one to finish it off. And now Spark gets sent off the map. Kiwi gets stuck in a hard place with no block. And Blind Spot finally with the first Diva Bomb this game.
Yeah, that's a bit of a misplaced lamp there. That's gonna give Team Bearfoo a bit of an opening, but they have to finish this out in about a minute, or else they they lose their chance at winning this map. They do have the ults though. They have a lot online. They're coming close on a Nano Blade, close on a beat. They really need to go fast though.
Now, stalling is the name of the game. That is a nanoed Genji in your backline. Can you make it work? Fun Police gets a kill. Bearfoo just running around, not able to get anything just yet. Gets one. Make that 2. Lofty Lover secures one more. That's a pretty nice fight win for them. Pretty quick as well. Crash out. Did I say quick? I mean, Kiwi is going to stall on point just a little bit longer.
I don't know if I like that from Kiwi though. It means that yeah, it's gonna be they're gonna be able to take a lot of space, Bearfoo, before he's able to get back. Yep.
Final bend, 20 seconds remaining. Can they stall it out? Can they prevent them from having any time left? Diva down off the board. Dragon Blade comes through with the beat combo. Lofty gets 1. One Police gets another. The Blade gets 0 kills, but Mook does fall shortly after. Kiwi gets a trade onto Bearfoo, though. Gets a second one onto Lofty. 4 seconds remaining, and it's looking like their hopes of winning this match are all but gone. Can they at least push for the draw? No, they cannot. As Sursonic and Kiwi, the dynamic duo, the TP Suzu punch, and their dreams.
Yeah, I mean they look a bit more comfortable to Bearfoo with that on Genji. You know, cycling the Nano and the Blade, really, you know, playing for Bearfoo's value rather than playing for those sort of, you know, more like macro-oriented, you know, Juno stuff that they look just a bit less comfortable with. You know, a bit less comfortable with that sort of like team coordination. But they just wind up giving up so much space and so much tempo to MFC still. Yeah, it's a nice recovery in the second half, but it's just not quite enough.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Bearfoo were able to leverage their strong DPS players, they're able to get those picks and get as far as they did is commendable, but unfortunately they just fell a bit short, whether it was the staggers, whether it was just the constant odd picks or the rotations that MFC made that made Bearfoo's game incredibly difficult. I mean, at second point there, during Bearfoo's attack, when they got flank windowed, that's pretty silly.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, from when they capped first point, they had a pretty nice sort of offense rolling, but I mean, they just took so long to get their feet underneath them, you know, so long to build up that Nano and go, and it worked beautifully when they went, but you know, that's after 3 minutes of you know, just not being able to get anything off the ground. So we'll have to see if there's any sort of change up planned for Bearfoo, because yeah, I mean, they're staring down the barrel of a 3-0 right now.
So now you're sitting in the front seat, okay? You are a Bearfoo fan for all intents and purposes here, and you have been invited to the club, okay? If you were to say one piece of advice to the players right now, whether or not they can hear you is debatable, what would you suggest as the color caster in the big seat? What do you think should be done here?
I think firstly, ban out the Doomfist. They're really struggling with the Doom. They're not. They're just not living against the Doom. I think. I mean, they keep giving him, you know, empowered punch. They're not running a CC to shut him down. So I think either go something like an Orisa, maybe a Roadhog, maybe a Cassidy, something to counter the Doomfist, or just ban him out of the series, and then stick with the Genji. The Genji was working. The Genji Ana was good. I think roll with that, and you know, put your hands together and pray that MFC don't ban the Genji, because without it, I'm not sure what exactly you're trying to do as Bearfoo. I don't know if they have another look that was working too well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty tried and true combo, but now as we're hitting map 3 and potentially the last one of the series, you're going to see these teams get a lot scrappier with their bans. You know, the first map or two, you can be pretty strategic. You can choose, oh, well, I want to take off this for this map. But when it comes down to the wire and you really see what makes these teams tick, you can really start gunning straight for
Yeah.
those, you know, those spotlight kind of characters, those like
Yeah.
Halo
Yeah.
picks of all things, like you mentioned, the
Yeah.
Doomfist, like the Genji for Bearfoo. Um,
There's a silver lining though for
mhm.
Bearfoo. The Alari for MFC is back on the table, but we're going to Flashpoint. So Alari on Flashpoint not that strong anyway. It really is a map that centers around a lot of these fast characters, your Lucios, your
Mhm.
Junos. Juno hasn't been banned in this series, but Lucio has, and it looks like Lafayette Lover is more comfortable on the Lucio than the Juno. Feels like, you know, he's able to have more impact on that character, win
Mhm.
that matchup better. And we've seen MFC sort of getting the better value in the Juno mirror with the, you know, Juno ult trades. So Bearfoo, they have the option to ban out the Juno and force it to a Lucio matchup where they can really try
Mhm.
and, you know, go maybe some Lucio Genji, maybe like really crank up the tempo that way. Um,
Yep.
Certainly, I think they have to be worried though if they're playing anything slower. Then they have to be really worried about the Alari, about, you know, what'll happen to you if you give that greedy backline too much space.
You know, now whether it's the gift of foresight or just some simple analysis, it does seem like you were pretty accurate on at least half the bans this series. It does look like Bearfoo are going to be banning out the Doom and Tracer. It's really giving them a really hard time, especially with the Doom. And if you don't want to play the Tracer matchup, then fair on you. You can take it out. And MFC returned the favor with a Baptiste Genji ban. It's going to be tight. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be extra scrappy, too, I can imagine.
Yeah,
But
I'm
I'm
surprised
ready.
that we're keeping it to Juno. So we might be seeing Juno Brig. Yeah, I'm not sure what you. I suppose Bearfoo. I mean, they lose the BAP, so they can't really run like a Bappler or Bapsen. Not that they were really trying to, but without the Doom Tracer, without that dive pressure on them, they have a lot more space to run. Maybe something a bit slower, maybe a bit greedier. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I would imagine that their go-to would be some sort of Genji rush with Lucio, but obviously Genji's out of the picture, so maybe they run like a Lucio Ram. You know, we saw them playing a fair bit of that. Maybe like a Lucio Rhine. Um, Maybe they go to just like the, you know, play the meta Juno Brig. Maybe put Bearfoo on May.
Hmm.
Hope they can win that matchup without you know, without the dive to disrupt them.
Yeah, so now that we're going into New Junk City, I think it's a pretty obvious thing to go is going to be a lot of your Brawl Rush, probably Junker Queen. How do you feel about Junker Queen in this meta? Do you think Junker Queen?
I
Or
think she's
is
very
it...
strong. I think she was gatekept by Orisa before because Orisa just has such a strong matchup. But with Orisa nerfed, I think Queen, she's, you know, received some micro buffs. She's really strong right now. Her, especially Rampage into the Orbital Ray, incredibly powerful. So if either of these teams feels comfortable and confident on the on the Junker Queen, it always got me thinking about Doom. We might expect to see the Queen pocket pick come out, and it looks like, yeah, we're seeing Junker Queens hovered on both sides.
Okay, Junker Queen is, like we just mentioned, yeah, a pretty strong character, and no longer being gatekept by Orisa is a positive.
Yeah,
And it does seem like they're going for very different flavors, though. MFC right off the bat
yeah,
with the Venture, with the Cassidy, really trying to make their presence known. And
yeah.
Bearfoo are going for something a little more tried and tested with the Reaper May. I'm
So
really
MFC,
interested in seeing.
yeah, MSC have a lot of poke. Bearfoo need to recognize this. They need to get on top of them, make these fights up close and personal. Get
Yep.
that Reaper in play.
Yep. No, MFC are the ones to take the
No.
power position first. Grumpy Muck gets the kill onto Bearfoo, but Pudge gets taken down by Lofty Lover. Not going to have much of a threat on the back line now with the dead Venture. Blind Spot, though, is forced out, and it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to contest the first cap.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. They're really just waiting too long. There's no reason to be standing back with the Reaper May. You need to be getting up in their faces. It looks like they just took a little too long to recognize that.
And now they are going to be
It's a
charging
nice
for a
wall.
nice May wall, but Juno is going to be able to fly right over it. Sir Santa gets so much damage in. Pudge takes down Blind Spot. No tank left for Bearfoo. Lobby Lover follows shortly after. And Reaper gets saved at the 11th hour by the Maywall.
Yeah, I think the shout's just a bit early there from Blind Spot. You know, the Maywall's nice. The Maywall forces out some big cooldowns, forces out the Juno cooldowns, forces out the shout. But yeah, after the wall falls, they're just not able to survive. Now the stagger onto Bearfoo. The MFC just looks so much more comfortable in this rush mirror. They really have just a much better grasp of the pace they want to play at as a team.
For sure. And 75% on the flashpoint already gone. It's looking like things are pretty said and done, at least for this first point, unless Bearfoo are really able to bring the heat.
They're going
now they are going to be rushing in. Kitsune Rush coming through. Blind Spot demanding space is going to get it in the form of Grumpy Muck. Kiwi, though, is going to rip and tear for the rest of the team. Blind Spot rips through, and Bearfoo returns the favor. It is a winning fight for Bearfoo. But
they don't touch the point.
They don't touch the point.
Yeah, I mean that's just a classic C9 there. You really need you know, your Reaper or your Lucio to be able to touch. There's no reason they shouldn't. Just that's really unfortunate. And now there's the Orbital Ray online with no support ults to answer for the side of Bearfoo.
Yep, they do get a consolation prize as well. They are the first ones on the brand new point, and they do get to conserve some ultimates. So it isn't starting completely from zero. The Capri Sun comes through, but the Blizzard on top of the team goes as well. Sparkplug takes down Grumpy Muck. Sanic takes it back. Zalin gets a kill. Pudge rips the Tectonic Shock, gets a Blind Spot down, but Sparkplug is not leaving without a fight. Almost takes down 3. Zalin is there to shut it down, and just like last round, MSC have first dibs on the point.
Yeah. Bearfoo going to be swapping over to the Cassidy. Looking to play maybe match a bit more with Poke, you know, recognizing and not finding those up-close fights. And now there's a Rampage online to counter the Orbital Race, so Bearfoo, they have a real shot going into this next fight.
Now, it's just a matter of who's going to budge first. It looks like Blind Spot was teared off of the high ground.
Early Suzu.
The Suzu burns so fast, and Sparkplug takes down Sanic, signaling the go sign. Kiwi falls right after. Lofty Lover and Bearfoo, though, get taken down by Grumpy Muck. Grumpy Muck's on a tear. Unfortunately, he's not able to live with no supports. And Fun Police is there to
I mean, they get
down.
it. They get it off that pick onto Sanic, but it's messy from Bearfoo. I mean, they get traded out. But more to the point, they use the Rampage without the Orbital Ray. Now this Orbital Ray from Sanic is just going to be free. They don't have anything to answer it, just like Kitsune Rush. And in a head-to-head, Kitsune versus Orbital Ray, Kitsune loses every time.
Yeah, now Venture is just demanding so much space, is able to secure the high ground for the rest of the team. It's going to be an Orbital Ray into a Kitsune Rush and a High Noon on the sidelines. Is the High Noon going to be able to catch anybody? No, it's not, but Kiwi opens up the fight. Grumpy Muck with the kill as well. What a surprise. Pudge takes down Lofty Lover. Blind Spot trades a kill in here, but nope, not going to be able to lead into anything else as Grumpy Muck and Kiwi shut them down in 72% of the point.
They do have the Death Blossom. They almost have a beat for this Rampage. Yeah, if Fun Police can touch, then there's maybe a chance for Bearfoo, but might just want to give this one up, though. It's going to be hard to touch. Looks like
9900. Again, it's an ultimate soup right after the point was captured, except that this time it's Kiwi ripping the Carnage to not really allow them any space to move. That's 3 kills for MFC, and it gives them a pretty free take on this next point, especially because it was so close to the last one.
Yeah, I mean, Bearfoo just a bit indecisive there. I think they realize they can't touch, but then they're sort of set up to try and go for it anyway. They get caught in that awkward spot, walking up to point, and now, yeah, they lose this early positioning. They do have a big ult advantage, but really they have to look to not overspend.
Yep, Mook almost takes off Bearfoo's face, and the Capri Sun gets dropped on top of the High Noon, but Kiwi blocks around the corner a little bit too soon. Tectonic Shock is not going to be able to find anybody, and never mind, gets one. Fun Police trades it through, and Zalin is going to get a pick. Sanic as well. The supports DPSing down their opposition.
I mean, that's really brutal. They just take Bearfoo takes so much poke early on. Suzu is forced out almost immediately. And then they're forced to use beat to answer the captive sun, and even still, they're not able to take the fight. They're not able to get their Death Blossom in play. You know, I was worried about them overspending ults, but instead they spend 2 of their strong ults, and they still lose the fight.
Yep. Now a rampage through most of the enemy team is going to be able to secure something nice for blind spot, but they do fall very fast. Fun Police gets a trade onto Pudge. Bearfoo gets another. It's just a 1-for-1 fight, but MFC are able to break through all the noise and secure that win.
Yeah, blind spot just keeps taking so much early damage, and now Lawful we're switching over to the Juno. It's going to be a last-ditch effort to try and touch, and blind spot gets hooked in. You can't lose your Junker Queen early. Who's gonna? Looks like they're going for the Junker Queen touch, but blind spot won't be able to make it.
Oh.
And that's it.
Yep. I was kind of hoping that both of those teams were going to clash at least a little closer to the point, so we're going to be able to see a bit more of a drawn-out fight. But there you go. MFC takes a clean 3 maps.
Yeah, it's a nice heads-up play right at the very end there. You know, recognizing that the Lucio sort of died late. That, you know, it's going to be tough for Bearfoo to find any touch at all. And to really punish the Junker Queen as she's stepping up. That was quite clever. But I think just throughout the series, we see MFC just looking so much more comfortable with their tempo, so much more coordinated as a team, really just setting the pace so often. And we saw on that flashpoint, you know, Bearfoo just time and again, they're just choked out. They're not able to get their ults online. They're not able to get their positions. You know, they try to look for engages, but they're just getting first pick. They're taking so much poke. Yeah, it's just really brutal.
Now, massive congratulations to MFC for securing this round. And we are going to be right back after a break to interview the one, the only Pudge. But first, let me give another quick shout out to our sponsors for the stream, BMO. BMO run their own Twitch channel, BMO Next Level. BMO_NXT LVL. They are live every Thursday at 7 p.m. ET. It's run by Sean Frame, BMO's gaming relations specialist. Sean brings a commitment to helping viewers achieve their financial goals and has a passion for gaming as an active member of the gaming community. I don't know if we have a command for it at the chat, probably !BMO. So make sure you guys go check them out. Again, that's twitch.tv/BMO_NXT LVL. And we'll be back from a quick break with our winners interview. Thank you. All right, chat, welcome back. We're going to do our MVP picks pretty quickly. We're going to choose one for both teams. We're going to choose our MVP and our SVP, which is second valuable player from the losing team. So for the MVP, so who on Medicinal Fried Chicken really stood out to you, computer?
I think there were a couple. I think Jang or Zaton on the Alari was doing a lot. I think Mook was hitting some really nice shots on the Widowmaker as well in King's Row, but I think really it's undeniable. It has to be Kewi. Just so much value on the Doomfist, so much value on the Junker Queen, just continually putting, enormous pressure, constantly farming empowered punches. I don't think there's any other answer.
Yeah, I mean, you could really feel that Doomfist's presence, and it was just known. It was profound all the time. Yeah. And the speed, the ferocity that you could feel from it, it was just amazing. So congratulations, Kewi, to being the crowned MVP for this round. And what about the SVP? So Bearfoo Fan Club. Do you have any maybe suggestions or thoughts?
I think we got to go with the namesake, the team mascot. The star on Genji. I think it's Bearfoo. Yeah, I think the where this team was able to find some of their footing, especially on that King's Row attack, that's what really sealed it for me. was
Mm-hmm.
Bearfoo popping off, especially on the Genji, but also on the Cassidy, on the Mei. Yeah, that's my vote.
Yeah. I mean, behind every rampaging DPS is their selfless support player, right? We did see a lot of Bearfoo pop-off moments, and that was also very much supported by Sparkflow and Laffy in the
Yeah.
backline. But yeah, you know what? I'll go with that. I'll say Bearfoo
Yeah.
deserves it. So Bearfoo,
Then,
congratulations on
yeah.
getting SVP. So there you have it. Kelly and Bearfoo are our MVP and SVP for the tonight's. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys hopefully sometime soon. All right. Thank you all. Have a good night. Bye bye.